Okay, thank you, Julie. Good evening, folks. I certainly want to welcome all of you to Vinton Town Council for this Tuesday, March 17th, and we will start with the roll call, please.
Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember McCarty.
Here.
Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor Mullins.
Here.
Mayor Gross.
Here. As I say, certainly want to welcome all of you. And for those folks that are new to our council meeting, we use the moment of silence here. That gives everyone an opportunity to pray or meditate as they see fit. I'll be praying. I hope you will. And if you are, I would ask you to keep in your thoughts and your prayers, keep the country and our community and certainly this council meeting here tonight in your prayers. And while we're standing, we will also have the Pledge of Allegiance, and Councilmember Lyles is in charge of that.
We have the honor of having Harrison Church. He's going to do the pledge for us, and he is accompanied with his grandparents here, Bev and Shirley Fitzpatrick. He's here for part of his government class.
All right.
And to get some credit. So
We're going to hear about that. Okay. So if you'll stand for that, please.
Please face the flag.
allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the next item is our community events, and Councilmember McCarty usually does that for us.
Yes.
All decked out in your green.
No, I don't want to get pinched.
That's right.
Okay, so we got a lot going on, it looks like. On April the 2nd at 3 p.m. at the Vinton War Memorial Park ribbon cutting. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody come. It's going to be a wonderful day, exciting times for Vinton. So that will be a fun day. April the 21st at 10 a.m. The Wolf Creek Greenway restroom ribbon cutting and Arbor Day event. Ribbon cutting for a restroom doesn't sound like it'd be very much fun, but we're going to make it fun. It's much needed. April the 24th at 6 p.m., the Vinton Dogwood concert at the Vinton Farmers Market stage. April the 25th at 10 a.m., Vinton Dogwood Festival, downtown Vinton. April the 25th, open house at Vinton History Museum during the Dogwood Festival. And April the 30th at 1 p.m., Glade Creek Greenway ribbon cutting. We'd also encourage folks to visit one of the many restaurants and entertainment venues in our community. You can also visit the venue's websites or on social media. And for more information on everything happening in Vinton, please visit the InVinton Facebook page and don't forget to like and share.
All right. Thank you, man. A lot of good stuff going on.
I can't believe we're going to get the Dogwood Festival already.
I know. That's unreal, isn't it? It's not warm enough, is it? No. Okay, with that, we'll move on to council activities. Vice Mayor Mullins.
All righty.
Please.
We're going to go back to February 26th. Councilmember Lyles and Councilmember Stovall attended the Roanoke Valley Transportation Planning Organization meeting. March 11th, Mayor Gross attended Virginia's Blue Ridge Good Morning program, and myself and Councilmember McCarty attended the Public Works Committee meeting. March 12th, Mayor Gross attended the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission Executive Committee meeting. And on Friday the 13th, Mayor Gross and Councilmember McCarty attended the Vinton Employee Appreciation March Madness event, and Mayor Gross and Councilmember Lyles attended the Regional Skateboard Park ribbon cutting. And today, Mayor Gross and Councilmember Stovall attended Finance Committee meeting.
We have been busy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. All right, next item is a request to postpone or change the agenda by anyone? No? Hearing no changes, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And tonight that contains the minutes of the regular meeting on February 17th. Any changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Did you get who that was, Julie? I went kind of fast.
Stovall and Lyles.
Yes, sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you.
You bet. And Julie, before I forget, we appreciate you filling in since Megan's gone. And you're doing all this with one arm, right? One arm tied behind you. That's pretty good. All right, we'll move on to our awards and presentations. And tonight we have a very special proclamation that Vice Mayor Mullins is going to present.
Thank you. This March is Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, and it's very special to me, so I'd like to read this for you all. Whereas multiple sclerosis is a chronic, often debilitating disease of the central nervous system that afflicts approximately 1 million people in the United States, and whereas it typically strikes young people in the prime of their life in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and whereas symptoms can start as tingling, numbness in the limbs or nerves, loss of mobility, coordination, and vision, and progress to paralysis, and whereas women are more likely than men to have MS by about 2 to 1. And whereas March is Multiple Sclerosis Education and Awareness Month, and it is important to have better education and awareness of MS so that victims can lead more productive and satisfying lives to benefit themselves, their caregivers, families, and the entire community. And whereas the exact cause of multiple sclerosis is unknown, and there is no known cure, and every hour of every day someone is newly diagnosed. And whereas the Multiple Sclerosis Alliance of Virginia provides programs and services for anyone in Virginia whose life has been affected by MS. Now, therefore, Mayor Bradley E. Gross and Vinton Town Council, on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize the month of March 2026 as Multiple Sclerosis Education and Awareness Month in the town of Vinton. And we have a guest with us. Suzanne O'Connell is the president and founder of the MS Alliance of Virginia. It's 100% volunteer. It serves all the families that are affected with MS, not just the patient, but the families and caregivers as well. And if you'd like some more information, their website is msallianceofvirginia.org. And if you want to do something very easy, just sitting on your couch, you can sign up on the Kroger Community Plus or Amazon Smiles. And that way you're buying stuff anyway and it benefits them.
All right. So you're going to present that to her? I'm
Yes,
going to go
sir.
with you. I have something also. I'll present you with this invincible our appreciate it. You need one more here.
Okay, that's what popped up, so I just put it in the special. All the proclamation.
Thank you.
You know, I can help.
We certainly appreciate everything you do.
It's so very maybe it's
Thank y'all for indulging me just a little.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your attention to this matter and having our guest tonight. So thank you for arranging that. Yeah. Speaking of guests, we have some very special guests with us tonight. Harrison Church and Bev and Shirley Fitzpatrick. Bev, would you folks like to come up and tell us what's going on with Harrison here?
Mayor, members of council, it's always an honor to be before an elected body like you all, and let us thank you for the time you spend. Most people don't understand the commitment that you make and that your staff makes when things like this happen. Harrison will be a student next year in the 9th grade at Hidden Valley Middle School. But this year he has a government teacher, high school, excuse me, who's the toughest teacher. And she has told him and the others in the class they have to have a certain number of points to pass their government class. So he is visiting different governments and other places to do that. And we're so pleased that we could be with you all tonight. A little bit about us. I'm chairman of the PCC, and we have a great relationship with the students in Eastern Roanoke County that many of you represent. And you need to know that our executive committee has become wonderful believers in the dogwood. We meet at the dogwood all the time, and we think it's the closest thing to the Roanoker that we can find, and that's the ultimate compliment.
Yes.
And our son, BT, who Pete knows is the town manager in Boone's Mill, and he lives in Falling Creek. I think he made a deal with them that he did not have to move in order to take that job because he would rather be in Falling Creek than in Franklin County. Don't say that publicly. But we appreciate your letting Harrison come tonight and letting us be visitors. And one thing I would like to tell you, as a former vet, the memorial you have is, I think, the most beautiful in the Roanoke Valley.
Thank you.
It was created by such somebody who really understood what it means, and to all of us who have served, things like that do make a difference. So thank you so much for what you all do every day, day and night, and we appreciate your allowing Harrison to take part in this tonight.
Well, thank you. Folks, don't run away. We got something for you. Harrison, I don't know, maybe they'll give you extra credit. Here's an invention pen. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoy it.
That is a wonderful marketing deal y'all have done on that.
Yes, it is.
And I should thank you on behalf of the city. Our fire departments and EMS work so closely together. And it does my heart good when I see that we've either come to help you or you come to help us, because that's what this is all about. So thank you.
We are a regional.
Some people don't understand that, Mayor, but
Yeah.
Benton and Roanoke do.
Yeah, they do. Surely this is one for you too. Yeah, the future of our district.
Shirley, you get by the mayor,
So
or you go by the mayor, and Mom and I'll be.
we so rarely distinguished visitors, we'll always get a picture when they come out.
Well, I'm not sure we're distinguished, but that's.
Let me shake your hand.
Huh?
Thank you, folks. Good luck with the class.
Pleasure being here.
And if you haven't already heard the story, ask her about the little person wearing a big hat. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, that needs to be part of the record.
We want to hear about that.
you got to stay till the end, till the comments. I'm going to tell the story.
Bev, I appreciate your comments about the monument. That's the Benton Roanoke County Veterans Monument. And a lot of great stories. Just very briefly, though, one thing I like to pass along, that was actually a citizen-driven effort. Roanoke County and the town of Benton contributed, I think, $50,000 each. But the other $300,000 was raised by a citizens committee. Isn't that something that's really a special detail about that? So, and you're right, it's really beautiful. So thank you for those comments. All right, with that, we will move on to the citizens' comments and petitions. I understand we have one visitor.
Yes, Mr. Tony Robertson from 809 Dale Avenue in Vinton has signed up to speak.
Okay. Tony, if you'd like to speak.
Yes, I live on 809 Dale Avenue, below Almany Scrap Iron, and I've lived there for 66 years, so been there a while. And the traffic is the problem going up the hill. Cars has dropped off and hit my neighbor's house because they're not tied down. the loads they carry up, they don't cover them up half the time. I get debris, scrap, nails, all kinds of stuff. And it's got worse over the last 15 years. I retired 15 years ago, so I actually at home to really see how bad it's got. And back in the 70s, the way they routed the traffic was off of 460. At where E.J. Thomas is at the bridge, they took a right there, and it was 13th Street, and it went into Bowman. You go around the curve to your right, you're at the scrap iron. That's what it was done back in the 70s, 80s, and as time progressed and more people are scrapping everything today, they're using, you know, in Dale Avenue in front of my house like a highway, and plus coming across the tracks too. I see debris all the time because I live there. I see it every day. And I was wondering if y'all could take a look in maybe rerouting it back the way it used to be. The original scrap iron place had signs there off of 460 telling you to go to the original scrap iron, which they sold to Albany. But they actually had signs back in the 70s telling you where it was. And it wasn't as congested back then it is now, but everybody's scrapping. But they're not, back to what I was telling you about the loads, they don't cover them up. Tractor and trucks has got to cover their load up. They're not. All this stuff is falling all in the yard, my road, all through there. And my main concern is if you could see about rerouting it, but back like it used to be. And it's not through no residential. If you route it back that way I told you, there's no houses there at all, because it's right beside the new SPCA. You would take a right there, and there's no congestion, no traffic, no nothing. That's one thing I need. I'd like to say something about the tractor and trailers that's coming off of Gus Nix, taking a right at Dunkirk, and they run straight into Dale Avenue, which is the four-way stop sign. All that is residential. That's right below my house. And it's bad. Tractor and trailers are coming through there, and it's residential. It's not, I know y'all been through there because it's a shortcut. Everybody takes it. But it's so congested, and especially at 4 and 5 o'clock, everybody cutting through there. And then you got the buses, then you got a tractor trailer coming through there. And there's apartments right there on the four-way stop sign. You got kids playing in the parking lot. This is not good. So I'm asking y'all to check into that. I can't understand how they let that happen. It wasn't like it back in the 70s and early 80s. Tractor trailers never come through there.
Right.
So I'm asking y'all, what changed? I mean, did y'all make agreement with the city to let them through, Southern States or anybody come through there, or what are they? Because if you go by Thresher Park, there's a sign that says take a right at Dunkirk. By Thresher Park, on the right there, when you go into the road, it says take a right. Tractor and trailers take a right at Dunkirk, and that takes you to Dale Avenue, which is a four-way stop sign, and it's all residential, and it's been like that for years.
Okay.
So maybe y'all can investigate it, and because it's something bad's really gonna happen. I mean, you can't have those tractor and trailers in there. It's not made for it.
Right. I know what you mean.
Like I said, I've been there for 66 years. I've seen it at its best and its worst. It's so congested right now down there. But that's what I'm here for.
Oh, okay. Well, I certainly appreciate your comments, and there is a lot more traffic around town, that's for sure. But we can ask our town manager to take a look at it.
I'll be happy to.
And another thing, Southern States trucks, 6 o'clock yesterday morning, they're going by my house. You got a sign, they put a sign right there, no trucks, and Southern States are coming through there by my house because it wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I look out the window, there he is. And it's a sign right there. Maybe y'all can, kind of say
Right.
something to them.
Okay, well,
I appreciate it, you know.
you bet.
And could y'all give me some feedback on what y'all decided?
Did you leave your address on that form?
Yeah.
Okay, right. We'll ask our town manager to take a look at it and we can inform you of the results.
Okay, appreciate it. And
All
thank you
right.
a lot.
Tony, thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I enjoyed
Thank you, sir. Okay. With that, we will move on to our briefing for tonight, which is the annual report from the Vinton Police Department. Chief Truman? Chief, excuse me, before you get started, I've given out some pins tonight, and Tony, I appreciated your comments. I'm gonna give you
I
a
did it.
pin.
Thank you.
Next time we're at work, so we'll call you.
I hope so. Hey, I'm retired. I got more time and I got money.
Don't we all?
I'll be glad to help out any and I've told them park in my yard anytime they need to.
All right.
Over there. Yeah, Carl told them all the time. Y'all welcome to it.
Of course, it was cold.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of council, staff, residents, guests. So it's pretty awesome you guys are here. I love that you're here, Harrison. I actually sat down with a student at William Byrd yesterday. She was going through her government class, and she was interviewing me in regards to jurisdictional boundaries. So we're always available to you to sit down and have a conversation. But it's quite awesome you're here because you get to engage and listen to a briefing from the police department. So in short frame, I'm going to discuss an annual report for the police department. This is a broad overview. I'm going to be living off of the white documents, not the black thicker packet that you guys got. That's the full annual report, and that will be publicized on the Town of Vinton's website. So any resident can go on vintonva.gov, pull up reports under the police department, and review reports from the past 5 years. That annual report in front of you is accurate, the one in black format. We will be modifying it a little bit to capture some of the data and break it down into smaller bites. So this year, we used the caption, "A Year of Growth and Resilience." So what we did for last year was to prepare us for this year in growth and resiliency in officers. Much like the strategic plan that you all crafted for 26 through the year 30, we did the same thing. We are people first. That's no surprise in the town of Vinton. Anything I shared, the successes that we have, the cash and prizes and the success of all the stories, is all by the people that I'm surrounded by. None of it is me. I just get to, like the mayor says, I just get to share it with you all and take all the glory of it. I just have the privilege to work around them. So I strongly believe that if we focus on growth and resilience, individual team wellness, we inherently promote connected neighborhoods, community spirit, public trust, all key principles that are already in our town's strategic plan. So in a really short way, happy people help happy people. So if we got people happy, they're going to be more inclined to help folks. So that's what we're paving the way for this year, and more to follow on that on future briefings. So in a nutshell, the Vinton Police Department is comprised of 26 sworn police officers, 2 professional staff, and 2 additions this year. We won't be talking about it, but I'll just highlight it that they exist, is the Wellness Division and, of course, the Traffic Division in itself. The Patrol Division is the largest component of the police department. That is where the 24/7 operations comes from. In addition to that, you have criminal investigations, community resources, animal control, records management, and, of course, the executive level of the leadership team. Our 2 professional staff members, who are Miss Mandy Baker and Miss Rachel Slate, they run day-to-day office management operations in a very broad view. I mean, they essentially make the place run 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we couldn't do it without them. The 2 additions, of course, that I mentioned are the Wellness and Traffic Division. Just a snapshot of wellness. A large part of the program is what we're turning into a plan that we created this past year, and this year we'll be putting that plan into action. It's already started, but that briefing will come later. Really what we're doing is creating systems and mechanisms that become culture at Vinton PD when it comes to growth and resilience. We live by a model through the wellness division of FIT, which is fuel, invest, and thrive. And you can tie that into the 4 pillars of wellness, which is faith, family, fitness, and finance. We strongly believe that if you can tie in those things, get better in all those things, because we all have things to improve on, you will become a resilient person in the community, thus being a great service, a great community servant to our community. The traffic position is just that. The position reflects our commitment to listening to community concerns, which we've had over the years about traffic, hence the conversation we just had, and taking a focused action on improved safety and concerns for everyone. So the theme in short frame really is to capture that broad overview of the police department. Crime analysis for this year. So we averaged 13,618 calls for service. That's only a 1% increase from last year. So give or take, that's about 100 to 200 call difference. We tend to live between 13,000 and 15,000 calls year after year. It just varies, 2020 being the slowest year as a result of what we went through. But that's usually the metric for us. It's 13 to 15. It's been that way for almost the 20 years that I've been here. With that being said, 42 drug calls, meaning we got called for a drug-related incident. That's gone down 35%, which is a tremendous number to be proud of. That can be attributed to many things, which is an expansion of mental health programs that we've had through crisis management, Blue Ridge Behavioral. We have clinicians that go to crisis calls and can triage patients on scene live and in time before anything gets out of hand, or we can send them to more professionals. So that happens out in the field as it occurs. Of course, prosecution and intervention and legislative changes also change enforcement. Arrests have gone up 3.6% as compared to 2024. Over a 5-year span, we tend to average between 350 and 400 arrests per year. So we're within that window of expectation as far as proactive enforcement. 384 traffic accidents, 8.1% decrease, which is wonderful because in the Commonwealth of Virginia, we always tend to see that increase, traffic fatalities and just traffic collisions in general. So it's really nice to see a statistic going down. Contributions to that can be increased proactivity through our highway safety grant, which allows us to put officers that are currently not assigned in the patrol division to do traffic safety and enforcement throughout the town of Vinton at high peak times that we've identified. Of course, driving behavior, us as motorists, changing behaviors and complying with the law, of course, helps as well. Some roadway safety initiatives conducted by the town of Vinton itself has helped tremendously, whether road studies or even improvement in the roads. I know we have a big study going for some of our roadway improvements and traffic flow. All these things matter when it comes to accidents, kind of why we do it. So the trend is kind of like when you watch sports, you always get the top 5 plays. It's same thing for the town of Vinton. While we capture data upon data upon data that you can consume, I really wanted to give you a highlight of the top 5 things consistently that we see in the town of Vinton as law enforcement officers. So the calls for service that we see that are active in the town of Vinton, the most that we get comparable year after year is civil advice calls, well-being checks, accidents, animal control, and disturbance. Civil advice is just that, folks that don't have an answer to something. Your face forwarding person in government is the police. So by default, we always get the phone call, regardless of the question, regardless of the circumstance. Police seems to be the first plan of action when you have a question. And so that's why it's our number 1 call. It's sort of something that inherently it's not part of law enforcement, but it is part of a community relationship, right? There is no enforcement action needed. And that's why we put a lot of premise on that when we're interviewing candidates or talking to police officers. 98% of your job is just having a conversation with somebody about a problem they're having. It requires no enforcement action. It just involves trust and relationships. Well-being checks. Folks wanting to check on others. Obviously, that's exhibited by a very caring community that people love each other enough to call us to go check on somebody, and it illustrates as being our top 2nd call for service. While accidents are down, it's still a concern for the town of Vinton. We all commute through our roadways. It's quite busy, and that profile just continues to grow, of course, as economic development continues to grow as well. More cars on the roadway, especially after the pandemic ended, you saw a tremendous increase in car purchases, people on the roadway. With that comes us hitting each other by accident. Animal control calls, very passionate about our animals. It doesn't mean it's an egregious calls. It just means that we're either checking on animals, but a predominant majority of those calls are actually wildlife calls that we go to. And disturbances can be a catch-all. If there's not a category as a result of the incident, if it's a disagreement between a party and a party, it's going to be called a disturbance, and then we change the call type to an appropriate one. So disturbances tends to be that catch-all of two people or multiple people disagreeing with each other. The top 5 traffic summonses that you see our officers in enforcement, or at least a combination, is expired state inspection, failure to obey a highway sign, speeding, expired registration or plates, and no valid license plate. With its expired inspection and expired registration, typically you have a year to renew your plates or your inspection. Virginia code gives you grace of another additional 4 months. So really, we don't start enforcement of those two till 4 or 5 months after it's expired. So we're really not really paying attention to them until if something is due in March, we really won't enforce it until sometime in June and July when that expires. But that's something that's actually increased in the town of Vinton, at least in our profile, is failure to update information. Failure to obey a highway sign can mean one of a multitude of things. It can be your no U-turn signs. It can also be speed limit signs where officers who exercise discretion can give you a warning on the speeding as a result of whatever that story may be, because every motorist has a story. Every motorist is going somewhere. And so there's always grace, there's always an explanation. So an officer can actually reduce a speeding offense to a failure to obey highway sign as well. And of course, just your traditional speeding. Speeding, as long as we probably occupy the planet, will continue to have speeding concerns. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to get caught up in life. And as cars become as built as they are, with every distraction available, these things will occur. Traffic accident locations. We did the top 3 because 4 and 5 tend to be really intersection related within neighborhoods like Cleveland Avenue. So the top 3 is probably no surprise to most is Washington Avenue, Dogwood Boulevard, formerly known as Bypass Road, Hardy Road, Vineyard, and Hardy Road and Bypass. Those have always been our major thoroughways as far as intersection-related accidents, and will continue to be there. I know that we have future plans for upgrading some of these intersections and addressing some of these problems. Our responsibility comes, of course, as a result of human behavior, and that's where enforcement comes in. But those are the 3 areas that we see the most cars hitting each other. Arrest and warrant services. So these are crimes that occur in the town of Vinton, right? This is the profile of the town, or things that we're mostly involved in. Of course, you have shoplifting, assault and battery on a family member, petty larceny, intoxication in public, and assault and battery. Shoplifting, crime of opportunity, of course, occurs in some of our stores that are larger chains that are in business here. And petty larceny is sort of a catch-all as well, but it's defined as things like larceny of tags, failing to secure your vehicle is a big one with us, where we have a lot of theft from inside of the motor vehicle, where it's just a crime of opportunity, where someone will run into a gas station, leave their car open, someone will come in and take your change or take your belongings, take your firearm. In a lot of the neighborhoods too, we'll have people go into our neighborhoods and just check car doors to see if it's open, and they'll go in there. So things that can be very much avoidable here in the town of Vinton, and law enforcement in general, is just securing property. Intoxication in public speaks for itself. Sometimes I guess some folks go a little harder in the paint and requires our attention, and we mitigate that for their own safety. That's really an extreme measure for us, and we're not in the habit of just doing that. That usually is because it's resulting in more problems, and we need you to be safe and sober up. And assault and battery is different than assault and battery in a family member for obvious reasons. That is more of a disagreement between parties where it results in an assault. So those were the crimes that people mostly find themselves in our custody. Crimes that occur in the town of Vinton sort of mirror that, which is simple assault, same as the other, shoplifting, property damage, drug-related calls, and theft from a motor vehicle. I touched a little bit on theft from motor vehicle. Those are crimes of opportunity on secured vehicles, but we do have seasons where we'll have a rash of stolen vehicles as well. Those kind of happen sporadically, and typically they can be drug-related, where a car will be used and then ditched elsewhere, especially rental cars. Drugs, property damage, shoplifting, simple assault. Our criminal investigations division, these are the not three active cases, excuse me. These are the 3 most common occurring cases that our detectives get as transfers to them. They obviously have quite a bit of other cases, but these are the 3 frequent ones that we have. Fraud, credit card larceny, identity theft is very big in the technology age that we live in. Card skimmers, so fraud and credit card larceny has gone up tremendously. They're all actually pretty swamped as we speak with that particular case profile occurring here in the town. Shoplifting continues to be one as a result of the other categories that I mentioned. And a third unfortunate big one is ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children. One of the largest industries in the world is the adult industry. And with that, of course, comes crimes of opportunity as far as against our kids. And that is a top 3 category for criminal investigations. Some of the grants that we apply for, some of them are available to us yearly and some of them are unique and become available every other year. We tend to capitalize on any grant that will fit our profile and complement the town of Vinton and the Vinton Police Department. So 5 grants that we currently have active is a local law enforcement block grant, the first responder wellness grant. We have an accreditation grant that helps pay for some of our software. So with accreditation, we have a piece of software. Essentially what we did is take software, accreditation from its primitive form, right? Traditional paper copies and file folders, and put it on a platform so it's electronic in use and a little bit more easy for the checks and balances that accreditation is. This year will actually be our accreditation year in the fall. So we'll have a mock accreditation in 2 months. And then in the fall, we'll have the real one. So we're up for our 4th, I think it's our 6th award or 7th award. I forget. 26 years in the making. So 2000 to 2026, yeah. An Operation Ceasefire grant. What that grant allowed us to do was buy a piece of technology that's essentially used for project management. It's as costly as the grant was to reconstruct scenes, whether it's a traffic fatality scene or a homicide scene. We can bring this piece of equipment in to recreate the scene for the detectives so they can revisit that scene despite us breaking down and moving on with the scenario. That piece of software will do all the measurements and capture everything that's occurred in a software platform. It's a very interesting tool. First Responder Wellness Grant, that helped us a lot with a lot of our certifications, a lot of our ambitions and goals to change the culture of the PD with a wellness profile. The next slide is awards. So I mentioned that our detectives are busy with one of the 3 things is Internet Crimes Against Children. Detective Justin Baker last year was awarded the Golden Halo Award, and that's for child abuse prevention, intervention, and advocacy. Justin was recognized as being the voice for our voiceless, our kids, and protecting them. He is very busy when it comes to ICAC cases, Internet Crimes Against Children. Officer Jeremy Shrewsbury on the right, who we all know, he received the MAT Award, which is reducing impaired driving. You have to have a pretty high number, a pretty high statistic to be recognized for the MAT Award, and Jeremy Shrewsbury has gotten it. I think this is his 5th award. On the bottom, you have Officer Jordan. So these are the folks that have joined our ranks last year. You have these young kids, Officer Jordan Henniger, Officer Derek Runyon, who both graduated the academy last year. You have Officer Jerry Marsh, who's a 10-year veteran who came from us from a different agency. You have Officer Anthony Walker, who's also police experience and came from us from another agency. And we have Miss Rachel Slade, who became our records management, who was doing that job in another locality. So we got tremendous talent last year that really complemented the Vinton Police Department. Next slide is Tim Lawless with any questions. So again, this is just a broad overview. Our annual report is there for public consumption and our website. And we're going to break it down a little bit easier because I find the numbers very intriguing, and I want to make it more attractive to the community to be able to see it and sort of just take it at face value instead of have to search for things. So that report is accurate. I just want to break it down even further to capture some of the awesome work these guys and girls are doing. That's it. Any questions?
Oh, wow. Chief, thank you very much. And what a great report. I appreciate hearing all this. And all those details are very important. But a couple that really jumped out to me that I find very exciting is the drug calls down 35%.
Yes, sir.
That's really good news. That's all.
Our relationship with Blue Ridge Behavioral, along with all the Roanoke Valley agencies, just grew tremendously last year through, of course, the help of grant funding to try to curb that piece of the drug calls. But of course, you also have Star City Violent Crime Task Force, which is a combination of Vinton, Roanoke City, City of Salem, Roanoke County, Virginia State Police, and a federal entity to help us curb violent crime and both violent crime and violent drugs that occur in the valley. And these guys are going full gas every day and try to make a dent in this thing. It's been incredible to watch. I guess one thing that we all can agree on is numbers will never lie to us, and they'll just be that, and we'd like to see that number going down.
Yeah. That's
Both through prosecution and, of course, through rehabbing and getting people the services that they need.
Yeah. That's really good news. I appreciate that information. And also you touched on accreditation. I think that's so very important. And I'm always very proud to tell people that we do have a fully accredited police department. So
yes, sir.
Glad to know that work goes on, I guess, just about year round.
It's year round. It's 4 times a year where our policies get we essentially get scrutinized every quarter, right? Every quarter we have to show validation and proof for all the policies that are recognized through accreditation process. We have to show proofs that we're playing by the rule, a system of checks and balances for our policy. And so the state comes in and inspects our police department, our evidence, our policies, our procedures, what we do as personnel. And it's a 4-day process, and so far so good. And we'll continue to do so. We have a very talented accreditation manager.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you. Council, do you have any questions or comments for the chief? No?
That's Police Department this side of the Pacific.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Great job.
And, then there's things that we inherently are different. We still do our neighborhood watches. We still do vacation watches and business checks. We still do the old school stuff like unlock car doors for folks. If it's extenuating circumstances, we will go outside of a jurisdiction to unlock someone's door for a safety reason. So there's still a lot of things that we do that are very important to us that really doesn't get measured, but it gets measured in the relationships that we build with our town.
Absolutely.
Great job, Chief.
Means a
Thank
lot.
you. I appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Okay. Yes, good job. So with that, we'll move on to our items that require action. And I understand, Pete, that you have a report concerning Gishmiel water improvement. Gus Nix, Gishmiel water.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor Gross, members of council. I do have a resolution in front of you this evening for a funding arrangement that we've entered into or plan to enter into with the West Virginia Water Authority for the financial obligation of the town for the Gus Nix Gishmiel water line improvement project. Brief council previously on this project. This originates in Gearhart Park and meanders its way up Highland Avenue, Wayne Street, serves Marlou, and then proceeds downhill to follow the Glade Creek Greenway and terminates very closely to the entrance of Glade Creek Park there on Gus Nix Boulevard. one of the primary benefits of this project is to supply necessary fire suppression for the Gish Mill project. As we know, that's a very old structure and was going to require, because of its commercial use in nature, mixed-use development, substantial fire suppression system. It was determined that there was not adequate water supply in that corridor of Gus Nix Boulevard, so we were looking for creative solutions to provide that necessary water supply. Our friends at the Water Authority did some internal calculations based on three different potential options to provide that service. They settled on the one that would primarily serve all of the town of Benton customers, both residential and potential commercial redevelopment projects. And so it came up with the route that's been briefed to you previously. It, again, upsizes some residential lines in the area, so it provides some increased water flow to residential services, improves the commercial fire suppression for projects like Billy Bird Annex, Gish Mill, but also things like that could come down the road with other developments in that corridor. They're also adding additional fire hydrants along the route. So not only will the residential structures, the commercial structures have increased fire capability, the addition of the additional fire hydrants will also create the opportunity, should we have the unfortunate situation of a fire, residential fire in that neighborhood, there will be adequate water supply for a fire truck to tap into, for example. So after we designed this project, we did some calculations. The pre-bid estimate from our engineer that designed this project was just short of $1 million for the construction. So that includes the materials and the construction installation of all of the water improvement project. We bid that project out, or the Water Authority did, as a part of their agreement to manage this project. And we were fortunate enough to get a very favorable bid from EC Pace. So they have, Water Authority has reviewed that bid, found it to be both responsive and responsible. It is just short of $814,000, so roughly $180,000 below what we anticipated. So again, very good, reputable company, but also a very good price. So per the terms that we've been negotiating back and forth with the Water Authority since the summer of last year in July, if I'm not mistaken, we agree to share in this cost of a 1/3 versus 2/3 share. So the Water Authorities, the design, the bidding, and the construction maintenance, or construction management, if I should say, and then the 2/3 share is actually for the materials and the installation. So the agreement before you tonight is for our commitment of our share of that construction installation. They did commit that they're working on finalizing some other projects that are being done by the Water Authority in the town limits using ARPA money that we had previously forwarded to the Water Authority through the transition in 2022. So any remaining funds that haven't already been committed, they will then subtract from this $814,000 number. So this number is the max and kind of the top end of what our commitment would be. There is a likelihood that the Water Authority will contribute additional ARPA funds to it and draw that money down, and we just won't be invoiced for it. The Water Authority, again, is going to manage this construction project. They will make the payments, and we will reimburse the Water Authority. So if they can apply those ARPA funds, it will just be less that they invoice us. So I hope I have answered or gave you some good background on what this project has been over the last couple of briefings and what the agreement is intended to accomplish this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Jeremy has reviewed this. He both wrote it and reviewed it.
Did you do all those pictures? He even drew a manhole cover.
Jeremy and his professional responsibilities both represents the Water Authority and the town of Benton. So he's done a very good job of helping us both out with this agreement.
And disclosing that repeatedly.
We were all comfortable with it. So.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, we did want to make that official that you were comfortable with it, Jeremy. So I'm glad to hear that. And obviously, we knew you would be comfortable with this. And it sounds to me like a great investment in our town, certainly for economic development and for safety. So
A big project for that price.
It's a big project. There's a lot of water line. They do anticipate getting started in the month of April, and if all things go according to plan, the project should wrap up around Halloween in the fall.
Okay, sounds great, Okay, council, you have any other questions or comments? All right, well, you have before you a resolution that would approve the reimbursement agreement as our town manager has described. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Council Member McCarty, second by Vice Mayor Mullins. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles,
Yes.
Councilmember McCarty,
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins,
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Council. And thank you, sir, for that report. I don't see anything listed for public hearings this evening, so we'll move on to the reports from the committees. Start with Finance, please.
Yay, it's Tiffany. Thank you. We were keeping that under wraps, and then Cody found out when my watch bursted with glitter from my cousin. Well, we met at the Finance Committee meeting today to go over January and February's financial statements. The general fund revenues and expenditures remain at a sufficient place to meet budget goals. The general fund revenue is at $7.2 million, which is 52% of budget received. The general fund expenditures are at 7.9%, and that is 57% of budget. The total cash and investments that we have is $9.7 million, with no significant financial concerns currently. The revenues are currently in line with budget, with make mention that 14%, we had a 14% increase in real estate collection year over year for our 2025 bills. We are at 60% of budget for our budget goal for the local tax. We are at 11% year-over-year increase for the parimutuel tax, which is Rosie's. That's about an average of about $38,000 per week, and that's between January and February. So that's tending to trend good. As far as on the Treasury side, we have 401 business licenses collected, with 169 due. Kimberly, due to her being out for about 2.5 weeks, extended that due date as of March 19th. So hopefully we'll get a lot more collected through this week. Real estate and personal property billing is scheduled to be billed out with Roanoke County as of April 7th. So hopefully those should get in the mail sometime that week with a due date of May 31st. February was a low month for our personal property collection, but we do expect from March to the end of the fiscal year to have about a 23% decrease on amounts due. Over the last 5 AP periods, we've had about $636,000 in capital improvement expenditures, in addition with the ceasefire grant that the police got. So we had to basically pay that money up front in the expenditure, but that should be reimbursed back to us by the end of the fiscal year. But what we're going to do is move that $636,000 from our investment accounts into our general fund, just to recoup what we have so far. And then the $92,000, once we receive it back in reimbursement, will go back into our investment accounts. Currently, no departments are projected to exceed budget currently. Most departments are between a 42 to 62% expensed used. We have put out 52% of all our performance agreements. 65% has been expensed for our local and community contributions, and all of our debt payments, which are mostly reimbursed or all reimbursed, have been issued and received back to the town. Just in a general update regarding our audits, FY24 is with our auditors and in review. They have sent back questions for us this week, so we will be answering those, and we have a projected completion date of mid-April. And then FY25 is currently underway, or we are currently working on it, so that once the FY24 is completed, we can move forward with that and have that completed by the end of this fiscal year.
All right. All right, thank you very much. Good job, Tiffany, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Council, you have any questions for Tiffany?
Mr. Mayor, I also move the financial statement
Okay.
for January 31st, 2026 and February 28th, 2026.
I didn't have any questions.
I didn't.
You make the motion. You got questions.
Technically, that's right.
Oh,
For a second.
Oh.
don't tell him he's right.
No, technically,
It didn't y'all.
Okay, I'll second. Anybody want to discuss?
now you got questions.
Good job, Carol.
More class.
Certain flexibility with that. It's fine.
I told you it's going to be different from Roanoke City, right? Certainly is, yeah. Okay, I think we have a motion and a second to accept the financial statements for January and February 2026. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. And I guess you got the names on that one, Julie. Right. Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, and great job, Tiffany. And may I say you did a great job, Finance Committee. She not only had to get out all the data, but she had to herd the cats. She got Mike Stovall and Cody Sexton and Pete Peters in the same room. Well, yeah, I was there too. Good job. All right, with that, we'll move on to the Public Works Committee. And Jill Archer is going to give the report. And we are so looking forward to that.
Great job.
That's right.
Sweat. Well, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, and everyone else. I'm here to report about the Public Works Committee meeting that we met on Wednesday, March the 11th, and we discussed the following existing projects at that time. The Farmers Market Compactor, we're still working on pricing. We now have pricing for the enclosure and the electrical work that needs to be done. We are continuing or working on getting the updated pricing on the compactor itself. It's been kind of an ongoing process, so we needed to reach out and make sure the price hadn't increased or anything like that. So we're waiting on that now. The second item that we discussed was the downtown furniture. I'm sure you may have noticed that some of it has disappeared. It's a work in progress. We've picked up all the trash cans. They've been repainted and are being put back in place, or actually should be back in place now. We're picking up the benches and the planters, and they'll be painted next. And from what I understand, they look really nice. So. The next item we discussed is the fuel tank removal at Public Works. The contractor is to be on site, weather permitting. It was reported either 3/17, which is today, or tomorrow, 3/18, to start the removal. I'm happy to report that he is there, and when I left this afternoon, one of the tanks is partially out of the ground. So they are working very diligently. Hope to be done in the next few days.
And they had a cold day to do it.
They had a cold day. I felt very sorry for them this morning. So the next item that we discussed was the disc golf course that's going to be at the Wolf Creek Greenway. Public Works crews have been working to clear the trees and the brush for the course. Last week, they met with a gentleman from the Roanoke Disc Golf Club regarding realigning a couple of the holes, and I know that turf has been located and will be coming in soon. So there would be ordering the baskets and things, I think, in the near future. So we are working on that. That's work in progress as well. The next big item that we talked about is the water line at the community park. Public Works crews started, and in basically a week's time, we installed 1,000 feet of water line there for the restroom up there at the new park. The hookup at the meter is going to be completed. What we reported was March 18th, but it has now been moved to March 19th. So that will happen this week and should be up and running. We actually had to go there today and put some gravel down just because or yesterday and today too, just because of the cold. So trying to protect everything. So we're moving on that, and that's looking really well. Another item that we discussed is the entrance sign install at all of the town entrances. I'm sure everyone has seen those. They were installed and look very nice, and it went off pretty much without a hitch. So I think that went well. The last existing item that we spoke about is the 3rd Street road repair, and I'm going to defer to Pete on that, and he's going to speak to you.
Sure. This is a project, obviously, that the council's well briefed on in the past. We've having some road failure, not to the point where we can't utilize it, but it is starting to degrade the quality of that road, mostly due to probably the weights of the vehicles that have been introduced to that corridor over the last decade or so, with additional businesses locating, primarily operating very large heavy vehicles. So we originally did some core sampling back in the fall to determine, what was going on subsurface, under the road surface. Those results came back fairly positive, that our fear was that it was built on former landfill and that the subsurface material wasn't quality enough to hold the road surface, but that looked like, based on the core samples, that was not necessarily the case. So we contract with RK&K, which is primarily a road traffic engineering firm, to take a deeper dive, utilizing those core samples, but also looking at drainage, looking at traffic volumes, looking at traffic weight, and kind of coming with a recommendation on what they think that road needs to be improved. So they came back with a multi-year cost estimate, both for design, to actually design the new roadway, and then the stormwater improvements and the road construction improvements itself. So it's broken up into several segments. In total, we'll throw round numbers at this point. It's anticipated to be about a $2 million project. To both fix all the stormwater needs of new culverts, new drain pipes, creating some proper drainage so it doesn't interfere with future road construction. And then the road surface itself is basically split into 2 equal sections. One of it's a traditional mill and pave, where we'll remove 1.5 inches, 2 inches of asphalt. Those are basically the flat sections of the road. If you think about the road coming off of Virginia Avenue, basically to the Public Works Department, and then the part up on the flat part of the hill where the old landfill is. Those 2 pieces are traditional mill and pave. It's the steeper section in the middle, where they were essentially recommending a similar project, an FDR project like we did at Mountain View last summer, where they will till up everything that's on site, mix that with concrete, be roughly, we'll call a couple of feet of that FDR material, and then pavement on top for that middle section. And that should have enough stability and constructive that could sustain the new weights that we're experiencing on that corridor. So what we hope to do is in the future, this current budget forecast out how we'll plan to recommend through our CIP to attack this project over the next several years. Because of the cost associated, it looks like it will be a multiple year project. So we'll discuss that at future budget work sessions and future budget development, but at least we feel like we have a good handle. And the cost estimates actually include some inflationary factors so that we know roughly what it's going to take. If it takes us 3 years, as they've suggested, what that will cost us over a 3-year period.
Great.
So it's expensive, but it could be worse. It could, certainly be a more challenging project, but it is a well-trafficked road with both commercial and residential traffic. So we know we need to tackle it, and we'll come up with a good plan before council makes some decisions.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that report. And even though $2 million is a lot of money, like you said, it could have been a lot worse. So that's great.
Thank you, Pete.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll move on to the new projects that we discussed. Spring paving. That's going to be done. They're going to be paving East Virginia Avenue from South Pollard Street to Clearview Drive. The paving will occur at night, and it will be completed before June 30th. It's too cold right now to pave. So if it ever warms up, we will have some paving done. So the next item, new project, was the downtown sidewalk at Eastleigh Avenue. We are currently replacing the damaged sidewalk from the fire, where the sidewalk got damaged. The curb and gutter was poured today, and the sidewalk, 6.5 yards, I think, will be delivered on Friday. So the sidewalk will hopefully be done by Friday. And the last item on my list that we spoke about was once we get done at the sidewalk there at Eastleigh Avenue, we're going to move to a crosswalk and handicap ramp that we're going to construct there at the Lee Avenue alley and the Walnut Avenue parking lot. So once everything is squared away, then we'll get to that. And that was the last new item that we discussed. And that's it for me, unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you.
You don't have any questions.
We don't.
Thank you, Jill.
We don't.
We have two ladies giving their first reports or second, so they both did a great job. Very good.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Thank you. Thank you. You did a great job. Yeah. All right. Jeremy, I don't see anything listed. I was so looking forward to a bright green tie tonight.
Too cold, so I went sweater instead.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Did you have anything at all?
No,
okay,
sir.
well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager.
Yes, sir, Mayor. I have a couple just quick announcements to make. I look forward to the upcoming joint meeting with the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors on March 30th. Got a very active afternoon, starting with lunch here in this chambers, and then we'll go on a physical tour of some recent economic development and community development park projects. Did want to acknowledge the park. We talked about it. I think everyone's looking forward to that opening on April 2nd at 3 o'clock. So please invite your friends and family and bring all the little ones. We do have, want to acknowledge Jill Acker, her work with Tiffany at the Roanoke Valley Resource Authority. Sorry, we have so many acronyms in this valley. But the community cleanup that's upcoming, I sent some information to council. It started to be promoted on social media this week, but that's April 6th. We'll have a community cleanup week, so there are some additional bulk pickup opportunities for our residents. So that information is getting out there. Please share that through your social networks so that folks take advantage of that week. We intentionally picked that week because it's the week after Roanoke County spring break. So hopefully parents and grandparents can use those strong backs to kind of unload the garage or the basement, put it out for bulk collection the following week. We also have a community cleanup day being planned. I know council has seen that invitation. That is also associated with that week, and also our participation with Roanoke Valley Cleanup and Clean Valley Council. So we'll have looks like we have 15 responded to participate, including staff and members of council. And so it looks like we'll have enough participants to divide it up in at least 2, if not 3 locations. And I know Ms. McCarty, Meadow Street is going to be one of our primary targets, but also our entrances. Their winter months are kind of brutal and trash with the winds and such, and it'd be good time, as we normally do in the spring, to get around and clean up some of our roadways. The rodeo, that's our annual Public Works rodeo that we do in cooperation with our local governments. That's scheduled for Wednesday, April 8th. I want to make sure I have that date right. So normally our Public Works crews participate and do quite well in those competitions. So just wanted to make that announcement that that'll be coming up. We are getting close to posting the Cedar Pollard Stormwater Project. That should be posted next Monday. That's been a long time project that we've delayed some of that because of the hotel construction. We accomplished some of that with the site preparation of the hotel. But this is, a stormwater project that we've known for quite a while, where we have some ponding there on Pollard Street near Allison Finney's hotel. And this is going to continue down into Cedar and provide some good utility connections for us for stormwater improvements. So that should go live next week, and I believe that's due April 15th for bids. And then I just wanted to acknowledge in general a lot of the work that Public Works has been doing. All the departments obviously do a great job, but something that kind of during the conversation, like, that came up about all the internal projects that Public Works is able to do. Just a reminder, that wasn't possible just a few years ago when we had water and sewer system that consumed, as it should, when we're responsible for it. But, that's our priority, and that was where all of our time was dedicated. And because that transition financially has been beneficial, but also operationally, we're able to use those Public Works crews to do things like sidewalk projects and curb and gutter, and doing 100-foot water or 1,000-foot of water line at the park. The work they did at Wolf Creek Greenway, we just wouldn't be able to dedicate that amount of time and expertise on those projects if it wasn't for that transition. So it just reminded me tonight how important that's been on many fronts, but certainly what we're able to accomplish, boots on the ground, because we have that flexibility now with our crews. So I think that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Council?
That way.
You haven't?
See if I got any questions on any of it.
Oh, yeah, we won't.
Good night.
Good report.
We just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thanks, sir. We appreciate the report. Very good report. And with that, we will take the comments from council. You want to start tonight, sir?
Sure. A lot going on. It was fun going to skate park the other day. It's a lot bigger than what I had envisioned it being. A lot of people, and it looks like a lot of fun. And then our park, that video is really, it does a really good job. And I did not know that mat, the rubber, was so thick. It looks like a good foot thick of rubber mulch. So it's going to be a nice, great place for the kids and grown-ups, and it sounds pretty safe too. So
yeah.
And then that hotel, can we check in next week? It's going up quick. So
yes, it is.
And then what you said, Pete, about the water. I woke up this morning to a detour sign at the corner of Clearview at my house, and down Clearview there, I guess a water line busted last night, and they were tearing it all up, and they had it done by the time I was on my way here. But we didn't have to. Especially as cold as it is. I know, yeah.
My turn?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, it is. Go for it.
Okay, my shout out, well,
Oh, well, hang on 1%. Thanks again, Harrison, for coming.
Yeah, you bet.
I haven't been here for a while, so my shout out is to Renee's Restaurant. We were able to go there for lunch. And I just wanted to take the time. I did not send a handwritten thank you, but I think that I've touched everyone through cards, social media, text messages, but just wanted to thank everybody. Vinton is definitely a family, and you loved me through a pretty tough time, so thanks for all the cards, calls, text messages, the beautiful flowers that were sent, and the prayers. I even had someone grab me and pray with me in the parking lot one day when I came to pick up the umbrellas that you guys allowed us to use. So I was praying right up to that last minute that we were going to have good weather for my dad's celebration of life, but he saw otherwise. So we did have to use the town umbrella, so I appreciate that, and wanted to thank everybody. I know that not everybody could attend, but wanted to thank everybody that was able to come. That the weather that day wasn't the greatest, and it is a pretty long haul down there, isn't it?
Well,
so now you guys know how
It's
the
a journey.
drive I make, but it gets shorter the more you make it.
yeah.
But you're
Take your
driving
word.
to
Yeah, I'll take your word for
I
that.
dated a guy one time that said he was dating a girl where they had to pipe the sunshine. That's how far out he thought he was going. But I really, really do appreciate you guys coming and just loving me through that. And I know where he is, and I'm going to see him again. So thank you so much for all of that. And then I want to thank Donna for, and I'm sure it was others, so I don't want to leave anybody out, but another amazing job on the employee bowling event. I mean, she had so many different things going on. I don't even know how she kept up with everything she had going on and all the rules and everything. But I too want to thank Harrison for coming tonight and bringing those fine folks that you've got over there beside you. Funny story, Shirley and I were able to work together quite a few years back now at Valley Bank, and I had gotten my first management job there. And so anyway, I was on guard with everything. Shirley knew everybody, but Shirley wasn't there that day. And this guy came in, and I had a few questions for him, and he did not like that. And he got so mad at me. And so he was walking out the door, and he said, "You're just a little girl wearing a big hat." I have my big hat tonight from Shirley to wear. And I thank you for bringing it. And I apologize for not wearing it the entire time, but I wouldn't really look good.
What that guy is now? Look at the hat you're wearing.
I know. And this is a really big hat. And so she got me this one for tonight, but when I was going to be leaving my team in South Roanoke, I was very torn. It was bittersweet, but I did come over to be the manager of the Valley Bank here in Vinton, and we went out to dinner, and we ended up going to Mexican, and I've got this huge sombrero that as a joke. So anyway, thank you. It's been fun times, and I appreciate you coming and remembering my big hat.
Very good. Looks great. Yeah. Vice Mayor, anything further?
Just to add to what Sabrina said about her father's celebration of life, it truly was. That is a goal right there. Like, it was not sad. Good stories were told, and I left there feeling really good, and I hope it helped you all.
Well, good.
Because it was really good.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to PD again for all the good and hard work you do and the good report. And I am obsessed with the hotel building, and I text them all the time pictures. Today. They are there Saturdays working. It's amazing, and I love it, and it's fun to watch. And it'll be even more fun when it's open.
Yes, it will.
Well, I don't have a lot. As you know, I left a couple Saturdays ago when we actually drove. We talked about flying, and we did that Florida swing of Orlando. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever have a chance to go to Anna Marie Island, go. It's a great place. Patsy and I had a great time. We went to visit her sister. But, Harrison, I do want to thank you for coming. And I know you're here because of government. And I've been in local government with your grandfather for a long time. And when you read in government about icons and people that made a difference in government, your grandfather is one of those people.
Amen.
So, serving city council and then the jobs he's done, he's got a great reputation, done a lot of great work.
Oh, Shirley.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you, folks, for those comments. Back to what you were saying about the skate park. Of course, that they promoted it as a regional skate park because the city of Salem and the town of Benton were able to contribute somewhat to the skate park. And just a really nice day, a really great facility. And I was impressed by, you guys tell me again the name of the bike thing, the pump track. Yeah, really awesome. So I think it's going to be a great regional facility. Really happy for those folks. And I agree, the employee March Madness Day was really awesome. I didn't get to stay for the entire thing, but what struck me is we're all aware of the quality of staff that we have, but there seemed to be such camaraderie and such teamwork going on. You know, it's really it was an awesome experience just to see our staff all together like that. Pete, I appreciate so much you promoting the cleanup time for April 6th through the 10th. Really a great opportunity for our citizens to help us. You know, we spend a lot of money in refuge collection and we're doing all kinds of things such as the sidewalks repair and all that, trying to make the town look good. So this is an opportunity for our citizens to step up and maybe doing a little cleanup. And I actually hope this becomes at least an annual event and give everyone an opportunity to get rid of some stuff that tends to gather up during the winter. And thank you folks so much for visiting here tonight. Shirley will be praying for you, that's all. Yeah, Bev, always good to see you. Been a lot of You betcha. It's an honor to have you here. Been watching you for quite a few years, and I certainly appreciate your contribution to this valley. And Harrison, I hope you get a really good grade there, buddy. So,
Point you come back.
yeah, we're here a couple times a month. Tony, thank you. You did a great presentation.
Well, please, because usually we have no one, so this has been really wonderful.
Yeah, we're excited. Yeah, well, you did a good job.
What's going on?
Yeah, well,
You live here, and everybody don't come down here and see what's going on.
yeah, they should, Yeah, see where their money goes, right? But you did a great job, and we'll check into your issues and, see what we can do for you. All right. Anything further to come before council this evening?
We want to thank Julie for sitting.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Julie.
My pleasure.
You did a great job, even with one arm tied behind you. Awesome. Thank you, folks, very much. If there's nothing further, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, please signify by leaving. Thank you, folks. God bless.
My